You think electric cars are expensive? Well, not anymore. And here's a list of 10 electric cars that you can buy right now, all way below the average price of a new car in America, which according to the Kelley Blue Book is now up to $48,000. Way below. That's a mathematical term. Look it up. And don't forget, what's not included in the price of an EV is all the money you're not going to spend on gas, oil changes, tune-ups, transmission fluid flushes, and exhaust mods, or whatever the kids are into nowadays. Now you're probably saying, Alex, you're probably mixing that elusive federal tax credit into the prices to make them look cheap, and a lot of us are not qualified. No, I'm not. All the prices are before any possible tax credit, but I will mention when there is one available because it really is elusive. I will tell you all about it in a second, but let's get going with the list from the most expensive to the least. And we'll start with number 10, the Hyundai Ioniq 5. People love this thing. It's retro and it's got really great specs for the price. The EPA range of 220 miles, 0 to 60 in 7.3 seconds. Now, these are the entry model numbers. They get even better with more expensive versions. But the best thing about this EV is how fast it charges, with the max DC charging rate of 350 kilowatts. It can charge from 10 to 80% in just 18 minutes. And ready for this? It's free. That's right, free. For the first 2 years, with the unlimited charging at Electrify America capped at 30 minutes per session. The price, and I've included the destination charges in all of them, is just under $43,000. However, unfortunately, it is not qualified for the tax credit, and we'll talk about the tax credit after the next one, which is its younger, but if you ask me, much better looking sister, the Hyundai Ioniq 6. It went on sale very recently and people are buying this one like crazy. A bit more of a range at 240 miles, 0 to 60 in 7.4 seconds. Much like the Ioniq 5, it charges to 80% in just 18 minutes at the max rate of 350 kilowatts, and the same 2 years free deal with Electrify America. It's a new EV, but it's won some big awards already. The Car and Driver's 2023 EV of the Year. Hey, Car and Driver, did you get ChatGPT drunk one night and made it design a logo for you? The Ioniq 6 has also won the World Car of the Year in addition to winning 2 other categories. All of that for a very similar price, under $43,000, and no federal tax credit here either. Now, let's talk about the federal tax credit before the next EV on the list, which is a very affordable Tesla. But before that, a quick reminder that this video is brought to you by NeoCharge. You can now charge 2 cars at the same time without spending a ton of money on rewiring your home. All you need is the smart splitter from NeoCharge. Get one today and use the discount code in the description of this video. Alright, federal tax credit. For those of you who don't know, some electric cars and some electric car buyers can get up to $7,500 off the price, but much like with my buddy's ability to process local food here in Bangkok, it's complicated. Now, it used to be, excuse me sir, are you buying an electric car? Okay, do you have a Pulse? Alright, here's $7,500 for you. Buy yourself something pretty. But now we have a chart. Damn it. This one is from Electric. Now, you'd think we're solving a complicated crime here. these are all the ways how you can get screwed out of that money. Looking at that chart, it's kind of like talking to a divorce attorney before getting married. Basically, you are not getting the money if your salary is too big, or the price of the car is too much, or it's not assembled in the right country, or the battery isn't, or some of battery's chemicals aren't, or if you ever combed your hair to the wrong side. It is exhausting. But as always, there is a loophole. You see, if you are leasing the car, then it's the bank that is getting the rebate, and most of the time passes that right through to you, and thus the individual limitations do no longer apply. Alright kids, let's put the calculators aside and get to the very first car on this list that is qualified for the $7,500 tax credit, and it is a Tesla, the Model 3. Now, I have not hid the fact that I strongly dislike this EV for many reasons, so I encourage you to research everything about it before buying it. Just don't buy it because it is a Tesla and your neighbor has one. It does have a very good EPA range of 272 miles. 0 to 60 in just 5.8 seconds, up to 147 added miles in 15 minutes of fast DC charging. It looks like at the time I am making this video in July, there will be a refresh before the end of the year. Now, let's talk about the price, because there is no such a thing as a price tag for a Tesla. Tesla's prices are much like their stock. They go up and down all the time, and you never know when you get screwed. As a matter of fact, there is a multi-page spreadsheet out there just to keep up with the price changes of just the 4 models that Tesla has on the market. So at this point of time, the price is under $42,000, but if you're qualified for the tax credit, it comes down all the way to about $34,000. At number 7, we've got Kia Niro EV, already at the 2nd generation. It has 253 EPA rated miles. The owners usually report the real-world range even higher than that, which is pretty rare. 0 to 60 in 7.1 seconds. Now, fast charging is where this EV is subpar. Almost 45 minutes, 10 to 80% at the max rate of 85 kilowatts. You do get 500 kilowatt hours of fast charging from Electrify America for free, which should be good enough for about 2,000 miles or so. The price tag is a little over $40,000 with no tax credit available. Now, this brings me to number 6, the EV I've actually owned myself for the last 2 years, the Volkswagen ID4. Now, you probably see a bunch of videos on my channel evolving from me falling in love with this EV all the way to returning it early because of my hellish experience due to software issues, including this one-man protest at the most recent CES in Las Vegas. I should mention that the 2023 version that Volkswagen makes now is a much better and smoother experience. 209 EPA rated miles, 0 to 60 in 7.1 seconds, 10 to 80% DC charging in about half an hour, plus 3 years of free charging from Electrify America with a 30-minute per session cap, which my ID4 did not have. It was unlimited. But I guess now they've put that in place. The price tag of a little over $40,000, and it does qualify for the tax credit, which would bring the price down closer to $30,000. Number 5, the Mazda MX30. Oh boy. Now, even though it is one of the cheapest EVs to buy at around $35,000, it is still not worth it, and the poor sales numbers show it, because it only has 100 miles of EPA range. That's in addition to having one of the slowest max fast charging rates in the industry at just 50 kilowatts and 0 to 60 in who the hell cares seconds. So let's not even waste any more time on this one and move on to number 4, the electric Mini Cooper. Now, I gotta say, this one is no better really. Pretty much the same price with a slightly longer but still very disappointing range of 114 EPA miles and the same pathetic 50 kilowatt max DC charging rate. The only reason this EV is a bit more popular than the Mazda MX30 is because of how much people love the Mini Coopers in general, and it is a fun car to drive, I have to admit. And look what we got at number 3. It is a Hyundai again. They make 3 EV models and all 3 made the list. This one is the Kona EV. Much like the Kia Niro EV, it is in its 2nd generation. Pretty damn good EPA range for the price of 258 miles, and most drivers do report getting around that much. 0 to 60 in 7.9 seconds, 10 to 80% in patience testing 47 minutes of DC fast charging, and about 1,000 free miles at Electrify America, priced at around $35,000 but not qualified for the tax credit. At number 2, we've got the Nissan Leaf, one of the first EVs to enter the market before even Tesla back in 2010, and now at its 2nd, much more aesthetically pleasing generation. 149 EPA rated miles, still only 50 kilowatts of max DC fast charging, filling up the battery from 0 to 80 in 40 minutes, 0 to 60 in 7.9 seconds. And somehow it still exists in 2023 with the CHAdeMO charging port and an optional 8 is this true? Is this for real? Optional 8-track player? Do you guys even know what those are? You know, don't worry about it. But it is one of the only 2 EVs under $30,000, which brings us to the other one and the number 1 EV on this list, the Chevy Volt EV. Launched in 2016, it was the first EV besides Tesla to break the 200-mile EPA rating. It is also in its 2nd slicker generation with the 259 miles of EPA range, 0 to 60 in 6.5 seconds, but only 55 kilowatts max DC charging, adding about 100 miles in half an hour. It also has a bigger EUV version that is a little bit pricier. Now, the 1st generation Volt EV had one of the biggest recalls in the recent history, recalling all years, all model trims due to a minor problem of some of them spontaneously catching on fire. The problem seems to be solved now. The car looks a bit better than the 1st generation, but still not too sexy for my taste. However, if you don't care or actually like its looks, it is a great EV with a pretty decent range at only around $27,000, and it is eligible for the tax credit, and in that case, the price drops under $20,000. Now that is the best bang for your buck when it comes to electric cars, hands down. Now, I really think if Chevy would make as many of them as people would want, and put some ad dollars behind it and then sell it globally and not just in the US, it may actually challenge the Tesla Model Y for the best-selling EV in the world. So here they are. Which one of them tickles your budget fancy? Let me know in the comment section. And if you want to know about all new electric cars that are coming on the market this year, you can watch it in this video. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Click on it. Click on it. Come on. It will feel great. All right, looking forward to all of your comments. Other than that, see you guys next time, and remember to stay charged.